Wow, that was a lot of knuckleheads. And I am also a knucklehead. And I'm joined here, as I am each week, by... Are you a knucklehead? Would you consider yourself
I think I would say probably most of the time.
That's good.
Some of the time.
Why
not be?
I think you need to slide...
I'm off camera?
Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
Over here?
There you go. Bingo.
I'm having a little computer difficulty this morning.
There we go. Yes, good. Well, so last week we drew Harley Davidsons. And we drew...
What year was it? 1942? 1942.
Yeah, and you guys did an amazing job, as always. I just loved it. So we drew them in, what was it, 20 minutes, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, and 30 seconds. And I just loved seeing it. I noticed that one person drew the longer one in the lower hand corner, so it kind of looked like they were kind of building. But they were it was just really fantastic to see. And I'm glad that you weren't daunted by that.
I have to say, some of the 30-second ones are just so fun. I mean, they're really expressive and free, and it's an exercise that I think is it's magical.
Well, we're not doing it today,
no.
But it was good. It was a good one, and I just want to welcome a few people. Charmin, haven't seen Charmin in a little while. It's nice to see you.
Charmin, always in the yard. Thank you.
Yes, Charmin, welcome. And Daniel from Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Nice.
Fantastic.
I saw someone from Qatar. I'm not sure I've ever seen that country before. Welcome.
Yes, Rima.
Rima
is here from Qatar. Welcome. And thanks for joining us. Who else? We have Christina Lee. Christina Lee, who's coming here for the very first time.
Nice.
Welcome, Christina. You'll learn how we do. Basically, get a pen, get some paper, and you can draw along with us. You can sit and watch. You can chat with other people. You can, I don't know, do whatever you like.
Do your own thing.
Do your own thing. We have Cindy here from Florida and Cynthia here from Ontario.
Nice.
So very
Covering
nice.
All the bases.
Yes. Sarah from Texas. And Helen, who hasn't been here for a while. Helen, welcome back. We have missed you and we're glad that you're back.
I've seen 2 people from tomorrow. Someone in the Philippines and someone in Australia.
Well, welcome.
Which is always... Yes. Pretty rad.
We're glad to have you here. We hope that tomorrow is as good as today is.
Yes, it's a beautiful day here.
So, yes. Christina has a sketchbook and pencils. That's fine. You can draw on anything. You could draw on the table with a lipstick if you'd like. Whatever you want, as long as you don't get in trouble. And Stevie from Derbyshire. So good. I'm glad to see all of you here. And today's just going to be, I don't know, we're going to draw some stuff from my childhood. We're going to draw dinosaurs. So feel free to...
Dead air? What happened?
Nothing. I was just looking... You were looking off screen to me. So
oh, I see.
I think I have to adjust your camera.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm using an alternate computer because of a snafu. A snafu that likes to happen, 30 seconds into the program. So.
I just went all the way across our studio to make that adjustment. But yes, so today we're going to draw dinosaurs. We drew dinosaurs last year, maybe sometime, but they're lots of fun to draw. And what's interesting about drawing a dinosaur is, in a way, it's like drawing the motorcycles that we drew last week, in the sense that you draw a piece, then you draw the next piece, you draw the next piece. Before long, boom, you've got a dinosaur. So
but you're not drawing a dinosaur.
We're drawing several dinosaurs. Well, I have several dinosaurs standing by, anxiously waiting to have their portraits drawn. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how many we get to.
Let's jump on in.
How many interesting. Yeah. So let's just get into it, start doing it, and figuring it out. So here we are on my desk.
Do people need to plan their page a little?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, so let me just show you. Here's our first guy. He's a little scrawny guy. He is...
How do you know it's a he? Ooh, whoa.
What do you think that... There's a strange thing here. In between, like a third leg. I'm not sure what that is exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like
I think
a
it's
thing
part of the pelvis.
But yeah, it looks like a third leg. I don't know. But
Let's not get too kinky here.
This particular dinosaur is called the Mononicus, although it seems to be should have been called the Trinicus. because it seems to have that third nicus down there.
I don't think I've ever heard of a mononicus.
Mononicus, I know. I just liked the fact that it looked almost exactly like a chicken. Right? I mean, that's a chicken. So yeah, so basically what we do is it's just a bunch of sticks, right? So how hard can that be? You can draw a stick. If you can draw a stick, you can draw all the sticks that make up this mononicus. So, and but yeah, dinosaurs, chickens are dinosaurs, and dinosaurs become chickens. As Lisa Stewart says, the three-legged chicken. Maybe that's what mononicus means. So I'm not sure where I'm gonna draw this guy. Maybe I need to adjust my apparatus here so that I can draw him in comfort. But I think I'll draw him. Yeah, I'll draw him right here. And so I have 4. We'll see if we want to do all 4. We'll see. Are you okay with there?
Yeah, it's just
Tech stuff.
Yeah. Anyway, doesn't matter.
So I like to start with the head. This guy has a nice looking head too. It's basically just a little, kind of like a triangle, modified triangle, and then that very round, large eye. So that to me feels, and then that's a chicken.
Speaking of chickens.
Yeah, speaking of chickens.
So our neighbors are on vacation, and they have a what do you call it?
A coop.
A flock. They have chickens, and we are the benefactors of these eggs, the product of these chickens. But they are fancy chickens. They have the most beautiful colors. They're all different. Every single one has a whole different couture, different colored feathers, different shapes and sizes. One has like a little puff ball on its head, and they lay the most incredible eggs. They're like green and blue, and anyway, we're minding the chickens, so they're quite on our minds.
Yeah.
Daniel's asking any printable reference picture. No, you kind of just do a screen grab, Daniel.
Yeah, we don't really do printable things. But yeah, you could I'll just do a screen grab right now, and then you'll have him with my drawing sniffing his knee. But then if you do a screen grab right there, it's all clear, and it should be workable. So this chicken, as you can see, it has this, I didn't quite capture the sweep of its neck. It has that sweep.
The neck almost looks like a necklace, like a chain link, right?
Yeah, it's like an S. It really should go out more like this and then in here more, but it's quite graceful. I think I'm going to run out of space. I'm almost certain I'm going to run out of space on the page here, but whatevs. It's okay. I probably should have turned my page before I started this, but I didn't. Okay, so now I'm getting into rib land. But then first of all, let's get this arm here. So there's an arm.
It's sort of a T-Rex kind of arm.
Yeah, he has short arms. Well, again, wings. Wings to come.
We always used to joke when we would, when we still worked in advertising, and I would have to take clients out for dinner, and the check would come, and they would have T-Rex arms. Pretend to reach forward, and it was sort of like, yeah, did you get T-Rex arms? Yeah.
I can't reach my wallet with these little tiny arms.
The check is here.
Exactly. So
I think my arms were sort of off camera as I was demoing that.
So, all right. So now I'm just kind of getting into these ribs. Again, I'm having angle problems. So there's no harm in redrawing it if you're worried about the angle. You could theoretically you could say, you know what, I'm going to draw this whole shape, and then I'm going to put in, you could do that. I'm then going to put in. I'm going to move this guy down.
Is your plan to stick with the fine liner through the whole thing?
Yeah, probably. It's really just a series of lines, this thing, so why not? So, so you could just do a shape like that if that would be helpful to you. And then you'd have somewhat of a guide, knowing what you were filling in. But, on a later dinosaur, I might be a lot looser and more improvisational. Well, right now I'm really doing every single bone. And that's not the only way to do this. I'm going to draw this leg coming back now, though, because it helps me to know that there's this kind of, I guess it's a pelvis, which is this sort of longer thing here. It's probably even longer than that. And then I know that these little spine bits are going to connect there to that guy.
So I guess you're not doing the tail.
I guess I'm not doing the tail. I ran out of tail space. You know, I could do this though. I have an idea. I have
Radical.
a flap, so I could make a flap, continue him over there. So maybe I'll do that.
What was he called again? Monosaurus?
He's called, there it is, the Mononychus.
Mononychus. Sounds Greek.
I think a lot of this is Greek, isn't it? I think dinosaur is Greek. It's something like terrible lizard or something. I seem to remember that. So yeah, so now I successfully added a sort of a dinosaur centerfold, as it were. Now I'm going to measure that tail just to get a sense of the overall length of it. So what I'm doing is I'm holding up my pen to the length of this. I'm holding it up, I'm sighting it, and then I'm going to see that in fact this length from here to here is the same as the length from the edge of the tail.
So do you want to know what this creature, its proportions were IRL?
Yeah, how big is it?
70 million years ago. Very small.
How big is he?
3.3 feet.
So like a goose.
Like a weight of 3.5 kilograms.
So a goose.
Yeah.
Goose size.
He used those unusual arms to hook and pull ants from their lairs in much the same manner used by some modern ant eaters or pangolins.
Okay, so he's fairly benign. Like
He's a carnivore.
But it wouldn't be terrifying to see him.
I mean, it's roughly the size of Twiggy.
Yeah, because when you think about like Jurassic Park, and you think about that scene in the sort of cafeteria, that's one of the most terrifying scenes ever. Don't you think that scene with the velociraptors coming after the guys that was scarier in a way than the T-Rex scene? Just because the T-Rex scene is almost impossibly scary, like it's like being chased by a giant elephant or something, but that scene where they were just kind of walking around, those were giant marauding birds. All right, so that is roughly this guy. I managed to get all of the bits in.
Oh, you managed to get your reference sort of over the foot you just drew.
Yeah, that's true.
Not sure it matters.
There. So, yeah. And then I have this little flap.
Flap is a kind word.
Tail flap. Flapping tail. So that is roughly this guy. I don't know what his hands are like exactly. It's a little hard to tell from this angle. Seems to have like one hand kind of back there. This area in here is black because there's like bits of the background or something. Like they put some blackness in here to make the bones stand out, but I don't think there was actually anything black in there. Now, if I was really feeling patient, I would make sure that I had every single bone and that I hadn't faked it. Like I kind of faked it back here. Just kind of added on some additional bits, but that is him. So, all right. I think we're done with this guy. What do you think? Should we move on?
Sure.
You guys ready to move on? Or are you going to freak out? I'll wait for some people to say that they're freaking out.
Freak out.
No, I'll wait if you're going to say like, I can't.
I'm kind of puzzling out what you're going to do with that extra sketchbook flap. I mean, how's that going to work?
I'm not sure. I have an idea. Dan Bolton says, no wonder they went extinct trying to remove ants from their lairs.
Yeah, that's not going to sustain you.
It's a good joke. He spelt it AUNTS.
Oh.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tearing this page out of this old sketchbook, notebook, and taking a piece of artist's tape and adhering it to the back in a really sloppy fashion, positioning it. Boom.
That's ingenuity, babe.
That's how it works. The mother of, what is it? The invention is the mother of necessity? Something like that? Or is it necessity is the mother of invention? One of those guys. All right, speaking of, let's get moving on. Is it Father's Day this weekend?
No.
No, okay. Somebody thought of that after I said mother. I was like, okay. All right, here's our next guy.
Don't get excited. No presents coming your way. You don't get to rule the roost this weekend.
The chickens do that. Okay, so this is a Stegosaurus.
Awesome.
Quite nice.
You're going to take him off over the page too?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just have to position my crap around here. Stegosaurus. Stegosaurus is the one that has all those plates down the back.
Yeah. Highly identifiable.
Yeah. So.
It does have a teeny little head.
You know what I'm thinking? I'm going loose.
Whoa.
Pulling out my brush pen.
Okay.
So, in fact, I might even do this because I'm having paper management problems with this. These are giant dinosaurs that are sitting on my sketchbook.
I think you made a bad, perhaps a
fatal error.
well, I wouldn't say fatal, but I would say it's a problem to solve for now.
Yeah, well, that's what creative people do.
No rules.
So I'm going to do some kind of crazier stuff here. And so I'm using the brush pen because brush pen kind of requires that I not be super detail focused, but that I can just kind of screw around and give an impression of what I'm seeing. So that's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then there's that, and then there's this guy's kind of bigger. And then there's a little one back here, and there's a bigger one here. A little one, bigger one. So yeah, some of these, it's like almost like an Alexander Calder dinosaur. Don't you think?
I was thinking about our prickly pear cactus and thinking it sort of looked like that in a weird kind of way.
That's interesting, yeah.
Spines.
Yeah, because I think that these spines are not really part of the skeleton. I mean, these plates.
Oh, really?
Well, look at how they're kind of floating. I mean, maybe they were connected to them, but maybe they were just...
Let's Google.
Maybe they were just added on to, maybe they were like part of the skin or something. I don't know. But they did survive.
He's herbaceous. Not herbaceous. Herbivorous.
Herbaceous.
Armored dinosaur from the late Jurassic, characterized by the distinctive kite-shaped upright plates along their backs and spikes on their tails.
Yeah. Does it say anything about what those spikes, what those things are?
I'll get there, but here's an interesting tidbit. Stegosaurus is often called the dumbest dinosaur because of its incredibly small brain.
Yep.
In fact, most scientists originally believed that its brain was too small to control such a large creature and that it used an auxiliary brain located above its rear legs. What?
Wow. So kind of like having an iPhone in your pocket. Or not. Well, it has a big spine, so maybe it did have a lot of stuff going on in its spine.
I'm trying to find something about the plates. Everybody wants to talk about its lack of intelligence.
Well,
it's a large, slow-moving plant eater.
I know a couple guys like that. Some of my vegan friends.
They lived 145 million years ago during the Jurassic period in what is now Colorado, Utah, and Wyoming.
Oh, so they were pretty close to where we are.
About the length of a bus.
Look at that tail. So they're really very defensive in these tails. I made mine. Mine is a little bit more sporty than the original. It's kind of more up in the air. But yeah, they look like they could probably run.
All right, here's a tidbit about the plates. Some scientists think they were used to attract mates, similar to the frill on a triceratops. Others think the plates protected Stegosaurus from attacking predators or absorbed heat from the sun to help warm the animal. Although the plates are still a mystery, fossilized footprints reveal that this dino likely traveled in family groups.
So the plates were, yeah. They don't seem like they could be defensive because you'd have to have like an animal. If this is the thing the size of a bus, you'd have to have something so much significantly bigger that it came down and was stopped by those plates. It seems more likely that they're like kind of feathers on a, like ornamental feathers.
Okay, so this we've touched on it having a small brain, but they said it's the size of a bus and this enormous and weighs 14,000 pounds.
Yikes.
But this enormous animal had a brain that was only slightly larger than a walnut.
A walnut. All right. Well, I'm pretty happy with that. So
Great.
there we go. I think the brush pen was a good call. So I'm ready to move on to the next animal. So that was the Stegosaurus.
Steggy.
Here we go now with this guy. Whoa. So this is, of course, the Rex, the T-Rex, the king.
The mighty.
Yeah.
The fearsome.
So I think I'm going to do him here.
You going to stick with brush pen?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this brush pen. That worked out pretty well for me. And Daniel agrees. So there we go.
Well, there we go.
It takes one to know one, Daniel. To recognize genius. Well, he didn't say that. All right, so let's get on with it. So I'm going to measure, I'm going to plan this out a little bit more. So he is one height. So he's basically, his height from here to here is about 1.5 times the length of him. So that's good to know. So that means that if I want to make sure I get my tail in there, I'm going to have to do the height. So he has to be about that tall in order to fit.
I feel like
Yeah, so he has to be about that tall. Yes, what were we going to say?
I can only imagine this is not possible, but can you flip the reference so he's facing the other direction?
I can't.
Got it.
I could, but I
think that would really help your page.
Yeah, it would. But
I'm trying to problem solve on the fly.
I know.
We need an auxiliary brain.
I know. Unfortunately, my brain is just slightly larger than a walnut, and I didn't think of a lot of these things. When I was pulling this reference together, I was more concerned about getting it to be transparent. For some reason, I thought that was a good idea. So you could see the background through
Things
it.
that make you go,
Yeah, but, So,
I mean, those teeth are terrific.
they are, but they're kind of sort of somewhat small.
There's just a lot
There's
of
lots
them.
of them, and there's rows and rows of them, too, yeah. And look at that big nutcracker jaw. Yeah, so...
This guy's awesome.
Look at his neck. It's like those bones are big, and you know that he was super, super fearsome and strong. I mean, his ribs are coming up here. It's like he's like a boxer with that big, heavy neck. And arms coming up. So there's those T-Rex. I'll pick up the check. Dang it, the Stegosaurus got it again.
All right, so T-Rex is brainy.
Yeah,
He's brainy.
That's how he avoids paying the check.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, I'm reaching for my wallet. he has a massive body, a mouth full of 8-inch long, super sharp teeth, and the strongest bite of any land animal ever.
Wow. Well,
Its jaws could have crushed a car.
Well, that's the thing, is that neck, those jaws, and then look at this pelvis. This is a really big, thick pelvis. So, and then his leg bones. I mean, this is a very strong beastie.
It not only has brawn, it has brains. So T-Rex had a brain about twice as large as other dinosaur noodles, suggesting that it might have been more intelligent with better vision and sense of smell. It's got the whole package.
You'd think that they would still be around. Oh, was that stupid meteor?
No match for the giant asteroid.
Yeah, the asteroid.
There was the most complete fossil was discovered in South Dakota, named Sioux.
Yeah, that's the one that's in
Chicago. After the fossil hunter who found it.
That's the one in the Field Museum in Chicago.
So it's 13 feet tall and 42 feet from end to end.
That's a big-ass dinosaur.
Sioux's skull weighs 600 pounds. Jesus. When it was alive, the dino probably weighed about 18,000 pounds, about as much as an RV. I think I saw Frugal RV Gal in the chat, so there you have it.
How does that compare to the size of a bus, though?
It's massive.
All right, so much for my attempt to measure him out. As you can see, he's now
he's going into the auxiliary sketchbook page.
He's a giant predator. He will decide where he goes, and there's not much that this other creature can do about it. The Mononychus. But yeah, and then he has this thing between his legs. Another one of these weird bone things.
Well, we're calling this one Sioux.
But what do you think about that bone? Maybe that's like a thing that protects this thing here. Sorry.
I think it's a structure for like the front of the belly, right?
Yes, it might be like another protective thing. So it's like you can't, if you come in at him like from this point of view, you're gonna hit some kind of.
It's a pelvis.
Carapace.
It's a pelvis.
But that's the pelvis back there.
No.
Yeah, this is the pelvis here. Sorry, there's the pelvis.
We need Jennifer Kankelfritz's husband to come in and clarify these matters for us.
Yeah, we do. We need.
He was our expert last week, so we're relying on you. Jump in anytime. It's funny. We often do a topic where we will have an expert in the crowd. So,
or I know that we also have some older people here. I don't know if any of you were around. And I remember when I was a boy.
Well, someone made the joke because you said something from your childhood, and they were like, "Boy, Danny's real old."
I know that was supposed to be a joke, but nobody got it.
Yeah, somebody got it. We laughed at you, not with you.
All right, I'm pretty happy with that. Pretty good. So, what are we learning? We're learning that using a brush pen is not a bad idea. Brush pen, as always, is fast and furious, so that's good. All right, so we have one more guy to do. We have some time. We can come back.
Gosh. You have way a lot of time, so maybe you want to take it a bit slower on this last one?
Okay.
You have a whole 30 minutes ahead.
All right, well, we can always come back and do some painting or something.
Yeah, Rima's complaining about your translucent reference. Would be better, I think, on a white.
I thought it was really cool.
Sometimes you make a choice.
Look at this guy. There you go. There you go. That's a Triceratops. So, I am
again facing off to the left.
Yeah,
you did yourself dirty with this sort of compositional trickery.
I know. So I think I want to put it right under where this guy's butt is. So there we go. All right.
I mean, you could just use the auxiliary sketchbook for your because he looks wood grain. Your desk is wood grain.
Okay.
Again with he. Why are we defaulting to he?
That was you decided to say that.
I know.
Okay, if you'll give me 1 second, I will gladly do this. Watch this. And you're saying to yourself, "That's really not helpful," and you'd be correct. But I will fix this. I'll fix this this and you'll say,
You know, the good news is you have plenty of time.
good. Okay.
Kind of
So,
jamming through these today.
all right.
Go,
so
Danny.
Here we go. I will make this, get rid of the border. I will make him a bit better. So there you go.
Also makes them a bit more feminine, right?
I tried to be cool and give you guys something unusual and different, but no.
Yeah, you probably spent time on something that
Yeah.
made it less good.
Yeah. That's the way it is. Here, I'm going to give him a bit of a drop shadow too.
It happens.
What do you think? A bit of a drop shadow to make him stand up in the background. And yeah,
Go, Danny.
there we go.
Annie thinks we drew this same guy last August.
It was slightly different.
You know, we do dinosaur bones once a year. That for our regulars.
Yeah.
It's a recurring theme.
I think it's fun.
I think they are fun to do.
All right. One thing I am going to do is I'm going to make him a bit smaller. I'm sorry. I know you like a nice giant piece of reference, but
Take a screenshot.
I got to have room to draw. And so there we go. Come on. So, all right. I've managed to waste some more time. So we'll now be on schedule. There we go. All right. I hope that you've been drawing this whole time while I've been screwing around.
I mean, you could put a lot of detail into these. As you said, count every single protuberance.
Yeah. All right, so that's good. I apologize for my fanciness, but I'm gonna make up for it by doing the most amazing Triceratops drawing that has ever been done. So Triceratops, again, do you remember it in Jurassic Park?
No,
Yeah.
weirdly I don't.
It was lying on the ground right at the beginning, and it was giving birth or something like that.
Oh my goodness.
You don't remember that?
No. I don't really remember
I remember
that
just
film.
being staggered by that, because that was what was so amazing about that movie. It was really, you could really imagine what it was like to be around these animals. You know, it was really incredible sort of thing. This also is a lot like a toucan's beak.
So Triceratops is a herbivore.
Right.
It's slow moving.
I mean, they made it seem like it was kind of like a giant cow almost in the movie. Did anybody else? Am I the only one who's seen this movie? It's quite a popular movie. Steven Spielberg? No? Not ringing a bell? Michael Crichton?
Everyone's seen the movie. I just don't remember the movie. I mean, when did it come out? It was like in 1995.
Came out in the Jurassic period.
I don't remember much from 1995.
All right, so maybe you remember a classic Flintstones episode where there were Triceratops working at the mine where Fred worked. No?
Nope.
You don't remember that either.
Nope.
Okay. Well, both Jurassic Park and also the Flintstones were based on the latest in scientific discovery about dinosaurs, as you know.
My goodness, Twiglet.
He has a really good kind of piece of armor here.
So it's interesting because I'm reading along as you're drawing, and they said both male and females had the big horns and frills.
Well, but it doesn't seem like it must be for protection.
No, it said experts think that the dinos might have used the giant body parts to impress each other.
Nice big skull, George.
It said because both of the partners were trying to impress each other, it might mean that these animals shared some parenting duties.
Uh-huh.
Triceratops is one of the most found fossils. So we are getting new answers about them on the regular.
It's kind of like Alien also.
That we're finding aliens more than ever?
I'm saying just looking at this design of this creature. I'm running into it. Again, this original bird creature is really getting in the way. So He's got, again, he has this little kind of bone. I guess it's a breastbone, that thing.
People are saying it's part of the pelvis, and that yes, it's sort of like a sternum for the lower part of the body.
No, but I'm talking about this guy having this. Where is it? How can I point to it? This. I can't point to it. If it was transparent, I could have. But no, I can't. But this thing that's right between the arms. You see, there's that right where the chest is.
It's
that
a
thing
sternum.
hanging down.
That seems
sternum.
classic sternum.
So you could probably get a good wishbone out of this guy. I think I'm going to draw this overall shape of the rib cage before
I mean, I feel like that you got to leave space for those back legs. That thing is so impressive.
there'll be room.
Okay.
So I hope that you're learning a really valuable lesson, which is think about your drawing for 10 seconds before you start putting it on the page. In other words, don't do what I do, which is just start drawing and then go, oh, no, I've run out of space, or no, this is colliding. Just spend a little bit of time. And honestly, I'm not usually as bad at this, but I'm here. I'm dealing with people complaining about transparencies. It's just a lot of pressure.
I don't think it's complaining.
You're right. Pointing out my error.
I think they're looking for a little
I was trying to be transparent.
useful assist.
Clearly, I need to obfuscate more.
Now it's funny how that mononucleus or whatever that thing is called is now merging to be part of. It's like Triceratops's sternum in a weird kind of way.
What is this thing?
The head, yeah.
Oh, this guy's head.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Well, I hope that whoever's here for the first time isn't saying, what the hell? Because, this is just the way the show goes.
I was going to say, if you're expecting something more, you're in the wrong place.
Yeah. Again, as I've pointed out before, it's not called Draw Well With Me. It's... Yeah, so my guy is, he's got all the parts.
How do we know it's a guy? The females and the males, they share the frills and the horns.
All right, this gal, I don't know if you say so. Could be. It could be.
I'm in favor of an all-female dinosaur parade.
Yeah. All right, it's kind of chaotic. Dan asked if I'm using a Jurassic brush pen. It's true. It's true. Well,
didn't run out of ink.
But plastic is made of oil, and oil is made of dinosaurs.
Good. Bringing it home over there.
So there you go.
With your factoids.
What is the name of that gas company, the oil company that has the dinosaur as its logo? Is it Sinclair?
Yes.
Yeah. It's kind of a cute dinosaur, too. It's like... and I'm sure Daniel Williams is aware of that classic of literature, Danny and the Dinosaur, which is one of my favorites. Okay. We have some time, right?
Oh, you have an abundance of time.
So I think I'm going to...
Oh, my gosh.
What?
Oh, that feels dangerous.
Not at all. This is a big-ass bottle of ink. What could go wrong?
It will go wrong.
Could go wrong.
Am I getting more and more off camera? What's going on with me?
All right, so I'm going to take some of this, which is Sumi ink. I'm going to see what happens.
What kind of a brush are you using?
Just using a regular old brush, number 4. Yeah,
well, now, what's the deal with Sumi ink? You want to talk about it at all?
Sumi ink it's Japanese, or maybe it's Chinese. I don't know.
Oh my goodness! Well, don't talk about it if you don't know what it is.
I know what it is. I'm just not sure. It comes from different places, but it is. I like it because it is a kind of a warm ink, you know.
All right, I'll give you
when I
I'll give
dilute
you the
it-
benefit of the googs. It is a well-withered, high-grade oil soot ink
Yeah,
that can be used as both light and dark black ink.
right. So it is. I like it because it is, as I said, it is warm, and it is easy to dilute. I mean, I could probably do this with India ink as well, but I just happen to use Sumi ink a lot. I also like it when it comes in. Well, it also comes in a black bar, as JJ said. It's made of soot. It comes in a black bar often with gold letters on it.
Is that Sumi E?
Sumi, yeah. I've never met it personally. I just kind of talk about it. So there. So that is,
I mean, look how much character you just added.
yeah,
Literally 2 minutes.
yeah.
2 minutes.
That helps.
Yeah, it
So
definitely.
for all of you out there who are saying, "What the hell with this guy?" Now you see what the legend is based on. So, yeah. So now I'm doing a little bit here with this guy, giving him. It's just nice, It's just a little bit of fills it in, gives a bit of character. I could even throw a shadow on the ground with him if I wanted to. And just keeps it looser. So you've got the
Oh, I
bones.
like that shadow. And you did that really quite elegantly, I must say.
It's the Japanese influence that comes from the Sumi ink.
So HK97 is talking about, and I apologize, I don't know if I'm addressing a man or a woman, but usually when sketching, I make quick lines to complete the shape and draw some details and then modify it. So that's the exact opposite of what you're doing. Do you want to explain why?
I mean, it is and it isn't. I mean, I sometimes I don't do like a quick sketchy thing and then go in usually. I tend to do a contour drawing, which is kind of what I'm doing here. So I just find that, I don't know, that's just my approach is kind of to start on the details rather than thinking about the overall shape. I mean, honestly, there's probably more artists that do the opposite, and I think most art teachers would tell you to do that. I often found it confusing when I was a kid when they would say, think about the big shapes, do big gestures. I think in terms of the details. So it's like, I'm going to draw this bone, then I'm going to draw that bone, but as I showed you a few times, I did draw kind of the overall shape, just because if you do this bone, then this bone, then this bone, then this bone, sometimes you'll find that you're not getting the overall curve correctly. And so, there's limits to, I think, both approaches. And what I'm doing now is I'm loosening it up. In other words, I'm taking the details and I'm making the whole thing feel looser by putting this other layer of kind of looser brush stuff on it. So, yeah. And I kind of like this. Maybe, let's see. I'm going to fix this guy up. I was going to forget about him, but I'll just do it. And I think I'm ready to remove the Triceratops, just to have some room.
Yeah.
And to look at the overall page. And you can use the reference for all this stuff if you want to.
Linda's asking, can you show the bottle of ink?
The bottle of ink is actually kind of a cool bottle. So it has this red plastic thing. It says some stuff in Chinese on it. Oh, is it Japanese?
I think it's Japanese. I think it's Japanese.
Yasutomo.
Okay, thank you.
Yasutomo. But I've seen these in China as well. So that's the reason that I'm a little confused by it. Obviously, it's used as much for calligraphy as it is for painting with, but
I feel like you should close the lid on that thing.
this thing, it is closed.
Oh, okay.
You see, it has this, you pour out of this thing.
Oh.
So this is...
I was real worried you were going to tip that over.
No, would never happen.
Well, until tomorrow or like an hour from now.
All right. So this page is a little nutty, but I don't mind it.
Are you planning to do any lettering?
I think I have to because this page is so. But you know what I can do with this little flange that I built.
Oh wow, you got scissors out. I don't know if that's ever happened on Draw With Me.
Yeah, this is. So, there we go. That guy's now part of the action. But I could also get rid of that whole thing. It doesn't really matter. So, sorry for the chaos here, but yeah, so I'm going to write some stuff. Let's write some stuff. Last week I did I refill this? I did. So this is my India ink. Yes, it's full. So this is a pen. And this is
A dip pen?
This is a dip pen. This is some ink. So first off, this top guy is the Triceratops, right?
Yes.
The Triceratops.
Do you want me to put the spelling in?
No, I got it. Or trike. Aren't they known as that? Or is that nonsense?
That doesn't ring a bell to me, but
I seem to remember it from Jurassic Park 1.
As I've demonstrated time and again, I don't remember much about that film.
You know, we're watching this weekend, don't you?
I remember Laura Dern being in it.
Yeah, Laura Dern is crying over the Triceratops.
I remember.
It's lying injured on the ground.
I remember. Someone in the chat said it had eaten a bad plant.
There you go. Yep.
Yep.
I knew it had some ailment. And it had eaten. There we go. Triceratops. See, this will bring some sanity to this page, I hope.
Order in a sea of chaos.
Right, so now I can fix this Mononicus.
Got a mono.
Yeah, see if you can find anything about this guy, the mono.
We already talked about it.
The chicken-sized one that was, what was it? This 3 kilos.
It's an ant. It's a
basically
Jurassic anteater.
Mono.
Unlike these other guys, it lived in Asia. It had.
A lot of the others are American, right?
Yeah, they were actually some of them right around these parts. Utah, Colorado.
All right, so now what do I do about these guys? Do I turn the letters this way?
Are you going to say T-Rex, or do you want me to get you the entire spelling of the...
Tyrannosaurus Rex? I'm gonna say T-Rex. In fact, I'm going to do it this way. And finally, I managed to spray some ink on it. So finally, we have the Stegosaurus. Is it? Yes, Steg. Steg action. Steg.
You're off camera. Sorry.
Stegosaurus. All right, so maybe I need another word down here like
Help. I've lost my dang mind.
dinosaur dance party.
Disco. Somebody mentioned it was a disco.
Yeah. Here it is, a dinosaur disco for some reason. Not what I intended, but you know, sometimes it happens.
You could give it a disco ball up in the top corner. You do have 8 minutes.
All right, we're going to spend the next 8 minutes drawing a disco ball.
Not where you saw this going.
No, not at all.
Is it a disco ball? Doesn't feel like it'd be that easy to draw.
It's much harder than a dinosaur.
How do you draw the reflections?
You don't. Or you just write reflections. What else would a dinosaur disco have? A vegetable bar?
Music, like a boombox?
What songs would they play?
Good question.
Oldies. Yep. Boy, this is a terrible drawing of a record player, but I haven't seen a record player in a really long time. Kind of forgotten what they look like. Sweating to the oldies.
Oh, that's a good one. Bee Gees Staying Alive. How'd that work out for you?
Or isn't there a band, of course, called T-Rex?
Oh, very nice. Is it considered disco?
Sort of the right era, right? Yeah, there it is, the chaos of the Dino Disco. All right, I think that's enough tomfoolery for one day. It's time to get serious.
Yeah, I think we're done.
Whew, that was a rough one. I almost took a sip from this bottle of Sumi ink, but I didn't.
Oh yeah, Bad to the Bone. That would have been a good song.
Also not disco, but yes.
But correct era, right?
True.
Or is that the 80s?
The lights went out in Georgia. Yeah. It's the skeleton dance. Staying Alive, of course. And yes, Yova McCoy.
Welcome.
Thank you for coming. I hope we haven't made you regret and everything you've spent the last hour doing, but whatever. Amber said she would never think of drawing dinosaurs. You know, it's fun to just draw anything, right? It doesn't matter. Draw anything. It's just the act of drawing that's fun. So that's what we're here for. To just have some fun.
Do some stuff.
You know, I think this could be our Christmas card. Yeah, if you're on our list, look forward to getting the Dinosaur Disco from the Gregorys come December. All right, what else do we have to say?
Thanks for helping us get to 300,000 subscribers.
Yes, I meant to mention
that. We had sort of a silent goal. We didn't really mention it, but the goal was by the end of May, and here we are, and it has happened, and that's a reason to disco.
How many subscribers do we have right now?
300K.
I think we have more than 300. We have. If any of you haven't subscribed,
that was my next.
You can start working on our 400 because that's the next goal. But if you haven't subscribed, here's why I would say subscribe. Beyond the fact that we're kind of obliged by YouTube to always have to say that, is when you subscribe, then you'll know when we do this again. And if you hit the bell, after you subscribe, there's a little bell thing. If you hit that, then you'll be notified when there's another thing like this coming up. And also you'll be notified about the videos that I put out.
Yeah.
I've got a new one coming out Tuesday.
I was going to say, you're putting out a lot of content these days.
Yeah, we've got a lot of content.
Don't miss it.
Yes. And you would not get a notification next week.
Vacation, all I ever wanted.
Yes. We will be, as Laura says, bon voyage. We will be going on a trip. We'll be out of town. So we're not, in the past, we've done Draw With Me's from wherever we were.
We might change our mind and do it.
It's possible. And if you subscribe, you'll know. But if you don't
You
subscribe,
won't have to wonder, yeah.
don't show up. Don't bother showing up next week.
Yeah. Just
So
subscribe.
we will be back the next week. So we've been doing this for 5 years. Oh my God. That's all we've got. We've got 5 years. It's not a lot. But 5 years of getting together every Thursday. So if this is your first time, you've got a lot of stuff to watch to catch up on. There's
plenty of recordings.
There's plenty of
Some of them better than others.
Yeah, there's a whole playlist of Draw With Me, and you can watch them from. You could start watching them today, and you would still be watching them when we came back from vacation. So, right? How many? 500 hours? How many is that? That's 20 days around the clock. 20 days.
Yeah.
3 weeks around the clock.
It's more than anybody
And
really
we're only
wants.
going for 4 or 5 days. So
Yeah, that's right. We're going for 4 days.
Okay. All right, knuckleheads. It's time to get out of here. Now, I hope that your dinosaurs are way neater and better than mine. So, what I want to do is I want to suggest. Oh, Illustrated Life. I have to get rid of that. I want to suggest to you that you share your dinosaurs on Instagram or on Facebook or in the schoolyard, if you're a member of the schoolyard, and tag it, hashtag SBS Draw With Me. SBS stands, of course, for Sketchbook School. And if you do that, we will find it, and it'll be part of the beginning of our next show. Danny's essays. I put out an essay every Friday. The one that I wrote this week. Oh, this is a very good one.
They're and they're completely free.
They're not free. For me, they're a horrendous obligation, but for you, they're free. You just open your email box, and there they are, glowing with energy and stuff. Yeah, so I write these essays. That's my reason for being. So subscribe, go to dannysessays.com, sign up for it. What else?
That's it.
That's the sign. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, we're done.
It's an hour. We've put it in, and we are ready to go. See you again next week. Bye-bye.